Please sit down. We progress. Good morning, Rotarians, and welcome to our regular Wednesday morning meeting. Today is September 3rd, 2025. Wonderful to see all your bright shining faces today. I don't think we have a guest this morning other than our speaker and Chief will start. Let's start out. Oh, by the way, I will remind everybody we have a board meeting. I think it's a club board meeting after this meeting today. So, what is will have that all so keep that in mind. I'm going to handle the invocation today, if I may. I have a good one here, I think. See, okay. We stay focused on the objectives we have for the world: peace, tranquility, a true brotherhood of man, freedom from hunger, from oppression, from sickness, the freedom to choose our own destinies. We reaffirm our commitment to our simple Rotary four-way test. All we do and support is the truth. Is it fair to all concerned? Will have friendships will be beneficial for all concerned. We reaffirm our commitment to high ethics in all we do, and we give thanks for the blessings, opportunities, and responsibilities that all us as Rotarians. As we continue in this new millennium with optimism, renewed energy, and a commitment to service to you and our fellow men and women, please, Lord of the universe, help us to serve. Amen. And I will repeat the four-way test. Things we think, say, do. Excuse me. We're going to start with the pledge of allegiance. We're not like getting here. The pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance. Oh. And the four-way test. Think, say, do. First. Second. Third. Fourth. That's it. Have a seat. And it's all welcome President Watson.
Good morning, everybody. Before we get started, I have to say I have been remiss in one of my duties as president. I do apologize. But at the beginning of every month, we announce the birthdays and anniversaries of our club members. So my apologies on that. I will try to recognize our July and August birthdays and anniversaries at each meeting, but being the first meeting of September, let us go through and recognize these members. So, birthdays, well, yesterday, or was it 2 days ago? Yeah, 2 days ago, September 1st. We had Dr. Tricia Getz and Sue Carter on the 14th. This time, ditto. On the 23rd, we have Madeline Marino. Also on the 23rd, we have James Lang. So those are our birthdays that we have coming up. Anniversaries, we have Chris Foster and his spouse, wife Lisa, will be celebrating 35 years of marriage. And for other anniversaries we have here for our club, we'll start at the lower end and get to the top. So providers, we have Chris Foster. 9 years, James Lang. Also 9 years is Dan Filbert. And 20 years part of our club. And so they ran around the house and everybody. I would say happy birthday, if you don't wanna hear that, I don't wanna drive everybody out of here, if you don't have our city master, here today, she had to go to her office, so unfortunately, Chris, you know, does the singing for us, so we'll have her sing twice as loud next month. So moving on, talk about a couple of things that we have. First of all, I just want to read a letter that I received the other day. Look my name here. Says, one of the things I've been wanting to do is just kind of recognize, see a letter from one of the members that we've given a grant to. So this is a letter that we received from the City of Hudson's Fire Department. And with the dear members, the Hudson Fire Department and the citizens of Hudson extend their gratitude to the Hudson Rotary Foundation for a generous donation of $2,000 to acquire Knox boxes. These boxes, designed for emergency access, will be loaned to senior citizens and families with special needs in the community, providing a crucial resource for unforeseen events. Knox boxes offer a secure and efficient way for fire departments and other emergency responders to access homes and emergencies without causing damage. They are essentially small, wall-mounted safes that hold the keys, which can be retrieved by emergency personnel using a specialized master key. This rapid and unobstructed entry saves valuable time during critical situations, like medical emergencies or fires, potentially minimizing damage and injuries. The Hudson Fire Department's program focuses on providing Knox boxes to residents who might face difficulties opening their doors during an emergency, such as seniors or individuals with mobility challenges. Organizations like the Hudson Rotary Foundation play a vital role in supporting such initiatives, improving the safety and quality of life for the communities. Thank you again, Chief Jerry Barnes. So again, this is showing one of the wonderful things that the Hudson Rotary Club and our foundation does to support members of our community. Rich, did you want to say something? Bless you.
You can get rich. Bring up a good point, and, obviously, we're trying to figure out what we stand for, like, when, yeah, can't hear me. Do you hear me now? All right. Swing it back up. All right, sorry. So what do we stand for? I try to put the cabin on the map, and you just brought up a good point. Of course, my ideas are going on my head, of course. I don't know if it was Ron or somebody else did this analysis, what we've given away since we started the foundation. We're not bragging, we're not on our chest, Father children would have to do that, right? I'm not saying things. Something to put like on our website or something that this foundation has given away $800,000 since inception. And that's pretty cool.
It's on there. It's on there.
I guess it's no, cumulatively, it's on there.
It is on there. Yeah.
Right. Well, at a minimum, man, at least I brought this everything. And I don't put this on there. And probably other people that don't know it either.
Thank you. Now, another email that I saw the other day, comes from, Jimmy or Jim. And this beautiful picture of him and his wife, Jeannie. And it was a thank you, to Lexus Akron. As you know, they were, one of the, gift givers, at our gala. Beautiful, experience at the Guardians game, the use of a very beautiful vehicle, for Jim and his wife. It looked like they were having a great time at the Guardians game. Jim, you want to come up for a quick second, just say what the experience was? Yeah, not trying to figure out a spot. It looks like you two had a wonderful time, so just would love to hear about how that went to you.
Sure. We don't send that out and we said, have a good time, but I sent it with questions. And because I'm gonna take that. So I was hoping that, sharing that with the seats. Usually the card is a 5 page. The said you put out of the Labor Day, that just Thursday to Tuesday, so it was great. And the party club, free food, drinks, all our seating or whatever, that the party actually won. And they had a fireworks display. I said, oh, 5 minutes. And the funny thing was about the fireworks display, that's what the people around the street call. We do them with the dog, or dog, dog stuff. But it was fun, and I just want to make sure that it was definitely important. Yeah, I think that was a real nice thing you did. Just reaching out, thanking them for being a participant of our gala and offering some wonderful gifts. I'm really glad that you had a fantastic time. It really looked like you did it for yourself. So thank you. Before we get to our speaker today, I first have an announcement you'd like to make, so the floor is yours.
Okay. What I would like to let people know, if you don't already, is that this evening at 7 o'clock, Temple Beth Show and the UCC Church are providing for get together on the green, and it's for community building and other about sport piece. So anybody is on the green side.
7 o'clock. I'll be great. Thank you. Are there any other special announcements before we move on to our resolution? Jason, that's what they remind me of one thing. Thank you, Jay, for doing that. Next week there is a Chamber of Commerce luncheon. It's over at the Country Club of Hudson from 11:30 to 1. There's going to be a speaker, Suzanne Walker Buck, at the School of the West Mercer Cabinet, so it should be a very interesting presentation. I know that we've talked about building stronger alliances, maybe joining the Chamber of Commerce, so I'm going to try personally to go to that lunch next week. I got to check my schedule and see if that works. But who else? Is there anybody else in the club that would like to attend? It is next Wednesday, September 10th, from 11:30 to 1 o'clock. Over at the Country Club of Hudson. So if anybody's interested in participating, going to that lunch, please let me know. It would be a good way for us to represent the club and start building some connections with the chamber. Thank you. All right, and with that, I would like to welcome our guest speaker for today, and Polatas. She is the Assistant Governor for the North Summit Cluster of District 6630. So her career, she's the Executive Director of the Tallmadge Chamber of Commerce. It shows the benefit and the importance of developing a strong relationship with your local chambers. She is also a graduate of the University of Akron. That's right, I'm a Roo as well, so my wife and children, they're both flashes. Same bad of it. I get a lot of practice. So that's just the way it is. So I want to thank you for coming today. She's going to tell us a little bit about our cluster. I think it's something that is very important for us to have an understanding of how this all works and who's part of our cluster and some of the things that we do in conjunction with them. So yeah, the stage is yours.
Good morning, and I am naturally loud, so if I get too loud on the microphone, please let me know, because I've never been told that I'm too hard to hear, so I don't want to lash you out. Yeah, thank you for the invite. I see many faces in the room that are part of the district, either board or committees, and so it's exciting to see how you guys plug in at the district level. But we do have that little piece in the middle, and it's called the North Summit Cluster. We are made up of 7 clubs: your club, my club, which is the Tallmadge Club, Hudson Clock Tower, Upper Falls, Northampton, the E Club, Stone Monroe Falls. Is that all my son? Usually probably don't use it in the years. So I'm starting my third year as assistant governor. And I really appreciate Keith reaching out because I do want to visit all the clubs and get to know everybody a little better, but sometimes unless you have, somebody, I told him he kicked me in the butt, making me how to do this. And he said he's never been accused of kicking somebody in the butt. So, it's a nice first for him too. But so yeah, our cluster exists primarily to support each other. I try to have at least 3, if not 4 meetings with all the club presidents throughout the year, some in person, some on Zoom. Because one of the things that happens when you get Rotarians together that are not from the same club is the idea exchange starts happening. Oh, well, we do it this way. Oh, we thought about doing it that way. And it's always exciting to kind of just bring them all together and then sit back and watch the magic happen. So I loved last year's theme, the Magic of Rotary, because it really was, a fun thing to watch everybody brainstorm and support each other. So really that is my role as assistant governor, is to just be there as a support to your president-elect, and your club. And then look like anything that your club needs it to be. So as I was sitting this morning and chatting, we heard things about membership, that it's hard to get members, how can we do things differently, speakers, what club does not struggle with getting speakers, right? So when these club presidents come together, especially on the speaker front, well, have you reached out to so-and-so? They're, like you were talking about the, what's her name, Suzanne from Western Reserve. I've never heard her speak. It would be interesting. We invited her to a club to speak. I'm sure she would love to do something besides a chamber luncheon. But yes, I do love the chamber, joining the chamber. That's a great idea. I'm a little biased, but but yeah, so that's my role. What does the cluster do together besides exchange ideas and build fellowship and friendship outside of your individual club? Is we have a cluster project every year. So 2 years ago, my first year as assistant governor, our cluster, every club donates or buys $500 or $600. So when you get that by 7 clubs, it's $3,500 that we now have to work with. Whoever is leading the project will also apply for a district grant. So the lead of the cluster project. So I'll use 2 years ago. Stone Monroe Falls was in charge cluster project. They picked the project. They applied for the district grant. And so they had a $1 amount that they had to match with the district grant. So started with $5,000, and then all the other clubs pitched in $500 or $600. So they were working with somewhere around $7,000 to $8,000. And so what we did that year is we provided all home kits for NAMI, which is the National Association for Mental Illness. They have a office in CSS in Akron called Community Support Services. And what they do is they provide welcome home kits to anyone who is experiencing homelessness and is active in mental health treatment plan and has never had an apartment before. So they get them housed and then they provide these welcome home kits. So our club, all of our clubs provide money. We had 2 work days. We went down to Maui and we had these welcome home kits were actually pretty amazing. It's all the kitchen items, it's all the bedroom items, it's all the bathroom items, anything you needed to just get it back up on feet. And the really cool thing about that project was we got to actually hand them to the residents. So we got to put a face, you know, and a name to what we were doing. And they were all very grateful, and it's just a very humbling experience. Last year, the Tallmadge Club led the project, and we refurbished all the women, the family side of Harvest Home, which is the women's and children's section of the Haven Rest. And so there were 8 bedrooms that we went in, we painted, cleaned them, before we painted. We cleaned everything, we painted, and then it was all new bedding, pillows, curtains and everything. A little side note on this project, this was really near and dear to my heart. The Harvest Home opened in 1979. My mom and my 2 sisters and I were one of the first residents of the Harvest Home. So it was like a real full circle moment for me of experiencing that homelessness as a child and being there and remembering it as all brand new, right? 1979. Well, when we went in, I'm like, it still looked like 1979. So it was really nice to be able to add that little refresher to that. And they've since given us a list of other projects they would like us to do, so. We could have more cluster projects at the Harvest Home. The thing with that one too is a lot of the money that is raised for Haven Rest goes to the men's program and the men's shelter. The Harvest Home doesn't get much of the donations and the fundraising that Harvest Home does. So having support from clubs like Rotary clubs is very, very beneficial to that. So that's that. This year is Northampton. They are leading the cluster project this year. I'm not exactly sure what they're going to do. Meet with the president on September 23rd. They'll maybe kind of brainstorm and get things together and choose a project. What I like to suggest to clubs is something that benefits all of our clubs, like all of our area. You know, so like Harvest Home serves all of Southern County. NAMI serves all of Southern County. So we try to, like, let's not just benefit our individual community, because you're already doing that, right? By insisting, you're already supporting where you are. So we try to think a little bit bigger, something that the other 6 clubs buy into. And then just during the course of the year, again, just here is hey, we're doing your fundraiser, share your events, that kind of thing. Sorry, like Rich, my thoughts are going. So public image. Do you guys have a public image chair? Yeah. I know they
Got an awesome public here.
have an awesome life.
Awesome.
Okay.
Okay.
Jay. Okay, Jay. All right. Yeah, because we were chatting a little bit this morning too about what's on the website, what's not, and then Rich, you know, saying, oh, we should have this already on the website. So that is something in your club, like supporting Jay with giving him the information in a timely manner so he can get on the website. Do you have a social media presence? Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think I follow you guys. But you know, you can't just rely on one person to get all the information in one place. So help them out and you know, send them pictures, send them ideas, send them you know, whatever the upcoming speakers are, whatever. Like that is the greatest tool you have right now to grow your membership. Especially for like the younger generation. So if you want to get like Gen X, which would be my generation, you're going to find them on Facebook. You want to get like the millennials who are all now buying houses, not all, but you know, they're coming into their career, you're going to find them on Instagram. If you want to build that connection with like the Chamber of Commerce, you're going to find them on LinkedIn. So using social media and your website as the primary tool for growing membership is going to be pretty powerful, I think, for you guys. So I have a marketing company. besides being the Tallmadge executive director. And so I am, always open to help somebody. Like, how do we do this? Where do we go with this or whatever? So you can always just reach out to me. And I'd be happy to help you with that as well. And that's definitely, membership is one of, Bob Lawrence, our district governor, that's one of his primary goals this year. So I'd love to help anybody that can. So that's enough about me blabbing on it. What questions do you guys have about the cluster, or have you been involved in the cluster before and had an experience one way or another? I put them all to sleep.
To say before James does. James and I came down and did that project that it's called Navigate. Oh.
At the Harvest Home?
Harvest.
Yes.
We'd like to apologize for our carpentry skills. We discovered. Yeah. We may have screwed up the structural integrity. It was so bad.
Well, thanks for doing that, being there. That's honestly my favorite thing in the cluster is when we do projects together, and just getting to know other Rotarians. Because even though we do things different, each club does their four-way test, and the invocation and the flag in different order. It's like at the end, we're all here to serve our needs, right? Service to itself. So just being able to do that on a larger scale is part of what the cluster is able to do for you. And then, of course, like I said, I know several of you are already active at the district level, so that middle level definitely is a place to plug in as well.
And I'm hoping we can say these are research. Who at the Northampton Club is church of the reverse raffle.
I don't, but I find out. Yeah. If you don't hear from me later today, shoot me a text.
Really keep the notes. Okay. A lot of your doubts. So obviously it's like how other clubs are rooting. Looking for clever, consider one thing is outside of fundraising, recruiting, anything that clubs are doing just for social events outside.
Yeah, that's a good point. Still increased their membership by 8 to 10 people last year. Okay. And they did that just by having fifth Wednesdays. So when they have a fifth Wednesday, they don't meet at the normal time. They have a social, and everybody's expected to invite somebody in. And it's a very informal, casual way to talk about Rotary, have your friends meet other Rotarians. That list that you got from the farmers market with 15 names, I think they said on it. Get them all together, because just like existing Rotarians get together to share ideas, new potential members can get together and they might ask questions that you guys have thought of from a new perspective. So that the social aspect of doing something like that is a great entry point. So it's very much still that idea. We now do the evening on Thursday mornings. So the fifth Thursday, we're going to do a social, and like 3 or 4 times. It's not a whole lot of extra, and it can just be casual of like find a side room at a restaurant, maybe buy the first round of drinks and some appetizers, and just be present to connect with people. And then show that impact that you have on the community of, we have reinvested X amount of dollars in our community since we started our foundation. Now should have lots of ideas on how to do a community impact report. So it's not bragging, it's, hey, this is what we're doing, come join us. You have a question?
thank you for coming today and talking to us. From your experience with the other clubs, have them creating an endowment that you can then go, where the money is turned to a fund, zero fund that's invested, and then the return on that, say 5% distributed back to the club every year. Are you even doing that?
I don't think anybody's doing it large scale in our cluster. Tallmadge does it a little bit, in terms of, and then it kind of happened by accident, to tell you the truth. We had a large project with the city that we were going to do, and so we were saving, so that we could participate in that project. It's probably be like, $30,000 or something. And so we were putting aside $5,000 every year to get that. By the time the project came to fruition, the city didn't need our money. So we're like, oh, well, okay, now we have this little pot that we can then use, the interest on. But I don't think most clubs right now are, if you're short on membership, you're probably short on funds as well. So I don't think a lot of people have that extra pile of money sitting around to be like that, but definitely the way to go. Yeah, never stole my room trouble.
Two things, thanks, bring up the Stowe Club spot and his wife are very proud of. They're one of the few clubs that actually did last year. For the most part, a lot of clubs are down, a few members, 2 to 5, whatever. There are a handful of clubs that are up. Overall, I know these numbers being treasured that set up the bills. That last 2 years, the number of count has been down. Not dramatically, I'll say 10, 15. It is next comment, and thank you for sharing the whatever Wednesday or Thursday together. This year, once again, back to JDR, you've done a great job with marketing, bringing things to the pension. I was just thinking, who was it, Jim Amer, that met someone and had a couple names that people were interested in the club, or was it somebody else? You coach? Not this club. They're talking about Rotary, and they're out somewhere, and they're talking to a couple of people. That was a couple of meetings ago. They neighbors. Does that ring a bell? Neighbors? No. Neighbors.
We know what neighbors or someone moving.
Someone, but you never said that. Someone brought up the point that I was just talking to about Rotary to my neighbors. People, and they seem interested. Is there a way, Jamie, could get like a business card developed? I know it's on the website, honestly, I didn't check it, shame on me. But on the front of the website, I know, but on the website, and on the back it says exactly what we just said on our website. So we all grab a handful of these cards, put them up and keep something about the public all the time, being, the head of that branch there in Hudson. And, just hand her a card and say, I'm a better Rotary member, would you like to talk about Rotary? Would you like to have a cup of coffee? Because we're one of the clubs that were down last year. And this club has always been up, in membership. And that kind of brings me back to the second point, is Bob is emphasizing membership. We're actually projected to lose $25,000 to $30,000 this year at the district level, only because we're gonna dump a lot of money in membership development, right, Kim? So I wanted to share that with you. That's how important it is to the district that we regain our number. So
That's investing membership, love it. That's right. We are invested. Boy, there's a lot to say that. I'm just trying to remember all my thoughts ever. So on the Brand Central, so if you go to Rotary International website, there's a Brand Central, has all these beautiful pictures, videos, the different templates that you can use. There is one for business card. So you can go in there and just put your basic information, whatever, and then if you want to individualize it for you, or just pick it Rotary Club Hudson and send it off to a printer. That's a great, easy way. One thing Tallmadge did, just remember I got a timer. Oh, okay. Okay. One thing Tallmadge did is, they made these cards like invite one, invest, I think is what it's called. And so it was like a little coupon or a business card size up here. I want to buy you coffee, I want to buy you lunch. And, you know, just give me a call, let me know. And so each individual member was challenged to talk with somebody about Rotary over a cup of coffee or lunch. And again, it was a low-key commitment, financially and time-wise, for us to grow. That, I realized I was gonna start with my Rotary story. I initially joined Rotary in 2017, because my good friend Julie Brando asked me to join the Akron Club. And as, you know, so I got very involved in that, and then we Tallmadge, I moved my membership to Tallmadge, that made sense. But I was with Larry Loman, you all know Larry Loman, he's been out of it. And I've known Larry for years, and we were out at the Menace cardio patio things that Julie does every year. And Larry says to me, well, if I would have known you would have joined Rotary, I would have asked you. Larry, you know, it's funny. Yeah. When that was the people, you've got what was the music coming, you got on the board. From Western Reserve, music from Western Reserve is going to be your guest speaker or whatever on the 24th, 20 something. It's a great time to invite somebody in. You know, like everybody should be challenged to invite somebody to that meeting and start the conversation. I think sometimes we overcomplicate it, and it's usually just start with invite. So that's my challenge for you, I guess. Give you all homework.
And Kim, my daughter went to college and just going down back in one circle, your talent really done a nice job. Yes, it's image or whatever it's called.
Our mayor this year is really working on this term. Is really working on that. She's got a great plan. If you ever gone down West Avenue to her, it's like just a bunch of car dealerships and run down the lakes. She's got such an amazing vision for that area. And we're really excited to see what all she's able to accomplish through that. But they've been working really hard. So I will pass that on to them.
All right, anything else in my phone? And you know, hand out these business cards, but just incorporate it and you can go around with your local witness.
You know, I had one observation, so I talked to a number. It seems like I've talked to quite a few people about membership over the last month or so. I probably started the beer garden, and one of the things I've come to the conclusion of is maybe before you even, consider asking somebody to come to a meeting or something like that, figure out if they're a morning person. Because it's amazing how often people will, use, you tell them, and they get interested in these almost. It's morning, and they're like, oh, there's nobody in the world I'm not that early. So, I mean, well, there's the one, yeah, that's true. So we have the clock tower too. You can refer people to that. God forbid I didn't do that. But it might be interesting. I mean, I think I'm gonna adjust my technique a little bit, maybe even before the first question I ask before I even bring my Rotary is find out if you're a morning person. Because honestly, I'd rather deal with the concern, the objection before I even play it out. So just a thought.
I forgot to turn my phone off. Your grandkids calling. Yeah, I can always tell you have those individual ringers, and that one was my grandkids. So yeah, I have grandkids. That's right. 3 beautiful little grandbabies.
Tom, I just go ahead and this will be some of the address will exist. It's gonna say, did not want to get it.
You got it. Well, to play devil's advocate on that, everybody that, not everybody, but a lot of people that I've invited to our Rotary Club, they say, oh, or my club too. I don't want to do that. But they all still pay the mail ended up joining. They still complain to me of like, we have what? And I'm like, no, it's never gonna be a lunch club, it's just a morning club. Well, some people just need to get over it. Yeah. Yeah, there are some people who just won't budge, but if they're really committed to serving the community, get the back, we'll suck it up a little bit. Maybe.
One day a week.
Right, okay. Get lots of coffee, just keep the coffee flowing, make them happy, give them food. Any other questions? Well, thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much for leading your presentation. You know, it's easy to sit back and some of the, I use a big word, myopic view of Rotary when we just kind of sitting around discussing like strategic planning and so forth, see the clubs busy do, but it's easy to forget that we're part of a much larger organization. So, you know, I'm a big believer of like that reinventing the wheel. So I think before that we can and connect with our fellow Rotary clubs sponsor and we'll have the stronger the club will be because we'll be able to share ideas and just make there's strength numbers as they say, so spread our club, make it bigger, brighter, better than our part of the cluster. With my fellow residents cluster and share all of the ideas, all the things that we're doing. So again, thank you very much. Welcome. All right, so is there any other comments or any other announcements we turn our meeting for today? All righty, well, here we do have our board meeting that we have this meeting, and everybody's invited to participate, be a part of that. But I will enter meeting on our story for the day comes from Ellen Keller. And the quote is, never bend your head, always hold it high. Look the world straight in the eye. With that, protocol. We forget the roadblock. Sorry about that. Thank you for reminding me. All right, roadblock raffle. So we have a payout of $6 and a jackpot of $106. Tim, would you mind picking the winning ticket? It's a blue ticket. Last three numbers, 970. Winner, 978. All right, awesome. Is this your version of 50/50? All right, now that we have that done, I will enter meeting for this week. Oh, real quick, I just want to remind you next week we will be in here We will be having a formal presentation the following week, which is 17th, but we will be meeting out in the dining hall. It's going to be, and then we discussed like a follow-up from, the meeting, last week regarding some of the different ideas and programs. So, again, next week here, 17th out there, 24th in here. All right. Fine Day. Oh, looking forward to Fine Day. All right. With that, I end the meeting.